And now to this. The Southern Poverty Law Center is back in the hot seat this week. The House Judiciary Committee holding an explosive hearing, looking into claims the group funneled more than $3 million to fund the same violent extremist groups they claimed to be fighting against.
The SPLC became part of the weaponized effort of the Garland, Biden, Justice Department against the American people.
In November of 2010, SPLC shifted its focus beyond violent groups and began targeting Christian organizations.
The Southern Poverty Law Center does not merely track hate. It systematically inflates it, profits from it, and, according to a federal indictment, may even have helped create it.
The CEO for the Southern Poverty Law Center was asked to testify, but did not show up. He's now being asked to testify next month, while House Republicans are subpoenaing the center for any communications with the Biden-Harris administration. Let's bring in South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace. She is, of course, also running for governor in her state. Congresswoman, it is great to have you here this Memorial Day weekend. Thank you so much. Explain to me, what do you believe is the single most egregious act carried out by the SPLC among many accusations?
Well, first of all, I want to thank our veterans for their service this Memorial Day weekend. And then to answer your question, literally the SPLC, the left, it is one giant grift. We now know that they were funding racism, paying for racism, grifting off of racism. It was one giant grift, I believe, in concert with the Democrats and the Biden administration. And they were going after Christians. They were going after American patriots, American citizens, making this country more divisive than it's ever been because of their hatred. And they need to be held account. They should probably all be sitting in prison. And I look forward to Jim Jordan getting to the bottom of this. And if the head of the SPLC will not show up on his own, he needs to be subpoenaed, given a date, and he should show up or he should be behind bars.
Is it fair to say, Congresswoman, that the SPLC was stoking hatred almost to justify their own existence as an organization supposedly fighting hatred?
Oh, 100%. They were funding it. That was the sole purpose of their existence. If they don't have, if they can't portray people as racist, they don't have a reason to exist. And this is wrong. This is illegal. And every single one of them should go to jail.
I want to turn to another subject, Congresswoman, that I know is close to your heart as we look at some of the numbers that the SPLC is accused of funneling to various organizations there. But to this other subject, foreign-born lawmakers, you don't believe that anybody born outside of the United States should be allowed to serve in Congress? Tell our viewers about your thoughts on that.
Correct. We don't have to look any further than Ilhan Omar or that guy, I can't say his last name, Shri. These are people who've pledged allegiance to foreign countries. They are influenced, I believe, by their foreign allegiance to other countries. And we want to make sure that America is run by American patriots. And if the president has to be natural born, so too should members of Congress. So too should our judges. That's what my legislation was about. But we shouldn't stop there in Congress. Every single state across the country should ban foreigners or foreign-born individuals from being governor, from being lieutenant governor, from serving in state legislatures. We're seeing what's happening right now in real time to Europe, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen here, because once you're gone, there's no coming back from that. And in fact, in the governor's race, we've got someone who's foreign born. I don't think he should be able to run for governor. We don't know what his influences are. And I want to make sure that natural born citizens like the president of the United States, that they're from here and serving our nation's interests.
So would that be retroactive, Congresswoman, in your view? Would you actually throw people like Ilhan Omar out of Congress if you got this legislation passed?
Well, I've tried to throw Ilhan Omar out of Congress and have been blocked every time. In fact, I tried to subpoena her and her alleged brother husband's immigration records and was stopped from doing that, too. I would be fine if we made it retroactive, but at least going forward, if this thing can happen, then for the next election cycle or re-election cycle, it would apply to those individuals who should not be serving in Congress.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace, a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much, and happy Memorial Day weekend to you, Congresswoman.
God bless our veterans. Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.